So I've finally decided to do this video. I don't know why I haven't actually done it sooner, because it's like usually one of the first things people do when they do like a YouTube channel or anything like that. But recently there's been like a few articles floating around about me, and some of the information is quite misleading, so I thought I'd clear some of those up and then just speak about my fitness transformation. In terms of the articles, they're mainly to do with my transition from swimming into weightlifting. However, and a lot of it is true, like well, it all is basically true, but some of it's talking about excessive weight loss and things like modelling, where I don't actually associate myself as a model. It's more like a fitness enthusiast style thing. But I am just going to speak to you about my transformation, and if you have watched my Q&As or any questions where I spoke about previous sporting things, experiences, just like previously doing sport or my life before I got into fitness, you might know a bit about this already, but I just wanted to wrap it up as like one video. So I started swimming when I was 8 years old, six years old for lessons, then 8 and 10 years old doing it more like with a club, and I started to really enjoy it as it was my sport. I also did gymnastics at the same time, and I started to create this little V-shape figure, which now I do have. I have very big shoulders and a very big back because of swimming. I swam for 8 years. When I was 14, this is when it started to really pick up, so it would go to six or 7 sessions a week, and I was a good little swimmer. I was such a good little swimmer, like national champion. I didn't feel pain. I didn't like feel lactic acid or anything like that, and I could just keep going. I was a 200 IM and a 400 IM swimmer. That slowly just changed into 200 IM because I couldn't do 400 IM anymore. When I was 16, I moved to Manchester and trained there for the last 2 years of my swimming career. Basically, I got to the stage where I wasn't getting any quicker. It was like this, like PBs, and then it was just like for a year. And I was so good in training. My nutrition was like bob on, and I just kind of got to the stage where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't put in 9 sessions a week and then not get like the results I wanted to. I stopped after British Champs in April of 2015, and in terms of my physique and my body, when I swam, I didn't think about aesthetics at all. That's not what the sport is. You don't think about what your body looks like as much as you do in bodybuilding, obviously. So with swimming, I was just fueling myself to perform well, and I was training 9 times a week, as I said. So this was 9 times a week in the pool, and then as I started to get a bit older, you do gym sessions. So that was about 2 or 3 sessions a week in the gym, so weightlifting, but we did more like power work, so cleans, snatches, heavy squats and things like that. So it was more just the compound lift to then transition into swimming. However, when I was swimming, I was very, very light. I was very lean and small when I swam. I was 56 to 58, it varied throughout those 2 years, kilograms. We had something called skin folds done, or the skin calipers, I think people call them. So you clip the skin and you measure like percentages. For the girls, the aim was to be the same as your body weight, so mine should be 58 skin folds, 58 kilograms, so that kind of thing, or just a little bit below. However, my skin folds, their lowest were, I think they were 41, and my weight was 58. So I sat down with my nutritionist and we spoke about my eating and my diet, and it was evident that my diet was so clean, but I wasn't eating enough for the calories that I was burning in my sessions. And then after I had these skin folds done, I remember trying to really increase what I was eating, so I must have gone up to around 2,200 calories, but my weight just stayed the same and my skin folds stayed the same. I was known when I swam as being really small and lean and muscly, which was great. I could carry myself through the water, I was powerful, fab. But I stopped swimming in April 2015. As I said to you, I spoke about that before. and then straight away I went into weightlifting. Now I can't explain to you how different those two sports are. Swimming is one of the hardest sports. Well, from the training that we did, I'm taking that is ridiculous. It is a very difficult, both mentally and physically, on the body kind of sport. So April 2015 I stopped swimming. Within the next few days I was in the gym, not really knowing what I was doing. It was kind of just, I didn't like sitting still. I was one of those people who get really agitated, and I still do if I'm not doing some sort of exercise or moving around. I was new to it, like any of you might be new to it or just starting out. I'd look at things online and I'd try these sessions. Obviously I did have a little bit of knowledge about the lifting from what we were doing when I swam, but again, it is very different. That was very tailored to my swimming and the different strokes we were doing. I was lifting for 3 weeks and then realised I had no idea what I was doing. I was also doing stupid amounts of training. So I'd train in the morning, I'd get up really early and do like an hour's cardio at the gym, and then I'd go back at night and do a weight session. For me, that was normal, doing that amount of training, considering I was training 2 hours in the morning at swimming, 2 hours at night and land work. So I thought that was normal. I started to get advice from other people. Other people in the gym were so lovely. They said, look at this, have a read at this, do this program. And I started to do my own research, and I was like, you are doing this very wrong, Lucy, like what are you doing? May, June, July, I started seeing some progress, specifically in my glutes, and I was really happy about this because I hadn't been training long. I dialed down the sessions, so I was doing about 4 or 5 sessions a week, and then we hit summer and I didn't do that much. I went on holiday, I had the best summer. I was away with my best friend for 4 or 5 weeks. But this is where everything went wrong. And I woke up one morning with like a dull ache in my left knee, and it was quite swollen, and I was moving it, I was walking, I was like, this feels really weird. I then sat down for quite a while and got up, and my knee was like locked. And I was like, Emmy, something's gone wrong with my knee. And it started to really swell up. We were seeing how it was that day, and the next day I went to the camp doctor and I kept hearing the word cartilage. By this point, I couldn't walk, so I was on crutches, hobbling around on the beach on these crutches. And then it got so bad that my knee basically, it locked straight and it was swollen, so I couldn't move it. And I was then given a wheelchair, and Emmy just loved pushing me around in it. It was so funny.
Come on, man! It's because the sand's really thick.
Well, it wasn't funny at the time, it was very painful, but we made the most of it. I couldn't get home any earlier, so that's all I had to do. I was on very strong painkillers, I wasn't putting weight in it, we were icing it every day. I had my crutches and flew home. I had this consultation, so I think it was within 2 days I had an MRI scan, and a week after we got the results, and unfortunately I had torn my cartilage. My surgery was booked in for November, so for those 2 months I couldn't train legs. They had lost the muscle that I'd gained in those 3 months, which was even more annoying. I had my surgery, which was keyhole, fab surgery. It was so quick. My recovery was really good as well. My knee was all bandaged up. I couldn't walk properly for only a couple of days really for me. I was just on my sofa. I remember just sitting there feeling absolutely awful at home. I just couldn't get up. I then went back to uni and I was on crutches, which was just awful. It was just difficult, but I tried to make it so my recovery was as quick as possible. So I was off my crutches in 2 weeks. My dad was like, you get back in the gym straight away on the bike and things and it'll get easier. I had one put in my room at uni so I could turbo. My dad put a bike in so I could do my exercises every night. By January I started to train legs again, and I cannot tell you how scared I was to squat. I was petrified. I was squatting in the bar and I was like, oh my god, my knee's gonna pop out of place, this is awful. Broke that barrier, and February, March, April my training really started to pick up again. However, it was my first year at uni, so I was eating averagely. I was eating healthy, but there was bits and bobs all the time, and I was eating a lot. I like food. and there was obviously the going out as well in my first year. There was meeting everyone. I just had a really fun first year of uni, and fitness was just there. During my time of the whole knee situation, I did put weight on because I was just eating and I couldn't really train. I was about 63 to 64 kilograms throughout this period, and it hit April, May, coming to the end of exams, started to go out again, so I just stayed on this weight. So it was like the 64, 65 weight. Now, my actual fitness like influence and enthusiasm came to me at the end of this summer, and I got home and I was like, this is what I want to do. In these 2.5 years to now, I've put on 10 kilograms, but I have put on a lot of muscle mass, and you'll see the comparison pictures like popping up. Yeah, it was at the end of this summer going into my second year of uni when everything started to fall into place a little bit more. I had little goals set for myself. I started posting more content on Instagram, but it wasn't just like, oh, here's another picture of me, like here's another picture of my arse, here's another picture of this, that. It was content that I knew was going to help other people. And then I went down the route of starting to post a lot more workout videos, because I was like, I want people to be able to do the workouts that I do. I started a YouTube channel in February. It wasn't really something that I thought about doing, and I put one video up. It didn't get that many views. I was really nervous speaking to the camera. I was like, I don't like it, I don't know where to look, I can't do it. In June, I invested in my beautiful camera. It's the Canon G7X Mark II, for people who do ask on my Instagram and YouTube. So from June, I was posting at least once a week, and I was absolutely loving it. The thing that made me want to do it more was to be able to post workout videos, but the full length. Obviously on Instagram you only get a minute long, and now it's somewhere where people can go. So if my channel, by the way, is somewhere where people can go for workouts, for advice, information. I've done a couple of hauls as well, so it's like, it is fitness and health and fitness, and then like drips and drabs of lifestyle and my life thrown in there too. In the time period from February to September, my weight was forever increasing. So it was like the 63, 64s for quite a while, and I went to Australia at the start of the year, and I was about 63, 64 kilograms there, and now I'm 66, 67. So from when I first started 2.5 years ago to now, I have put on 10 kilograms. It kind of varies between 10 to 11 or 9 to 11, depending on what I'm training, if I'm in a deficit, if I'm in a surplus. When I did a block of strength training, I think I got to like 70 kilograms. I felt very heavy. I was like a block of muscle. But now I'm 66, 67, fluctuating, and I'm super happy. And I don't really weigh myself now. I do it occasionally just to kind of know, but it is always the same weight now. Don't just solely focus on what the scale is saying to you, because there are so many factors that will change that. You could literally eat something the night before and it's made you blow and it's made you feel a bit weird, and you wake up heavier, but then you might be absolutely fine the next morning. So don't just focus all your time and energy into these scales. Think about how you feel, how happy you are, how you look, and if you're happier, you'll enjoy your training more and going to the gym, and then that'll lead to results. I hope that video's cleared what my transformation was like and how bizarre it was, and it was a very weird journey to be on, but I am super happy where I am now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.